Alright, this video is about how to do an inventory for your Android device. This also could be done as well as for the PC, but I'm going to show you how to, because what you do here with the PC, you could basically make these not visible, these buttons, and just use them as a keyboard keys instead of buttons here on the screen. So all this stuff right here could be not visible, but I'll show you how I did this for Android. Able to move left, right, and then, like I said, I added another item here just to show you that you can add more to it if you wanted to. This will deactivate it, reactivate it, press the up key to move it. Now for the Android, you do have to make this button left press event for your mouse. The other buttons can be virtual keys. I made this a virtual key, and this inventory at the top kept blinking very quickly when you open it up and close it, so I made it a mouse click event and it worked fine. And the only thing is that when you're not making it a virtual key, then when you're moving, you can't press the second button at the same time, because since you're using a left press event on the mouse for this button, you have to physically stop, and then you can press this button to open and close this. If it was a virtual key, you can move and press this at the same time and it would open up, but it's not possible because there's a glitch for a virtual key for opening and closing this, so that's why I had to make it a mouse click event. So anyways, this is a new item. Press the A button to use it, or the enter button. Shield, press the up button, fire your arrows, bombs, dynamite. Also made the explosion happen behind or below, so that way it wouldn't be on your buttons, because above would be on top of your buttons. So below is behind this button here, so the explosion happens behind the button. Close it, open it, and you notice when I press the up key, it doesn't show any of the selector images like I had an issue with before, because I was using the hide code and it would show the selector box at the top. Now it doesn't do that because I'm using the deactivate and activate code instead. Alright, so with all these buttons here, the up arrow button here, I've created a virtual key. Talked about virtual keys before. Make sure that this, you can name it anything you want, has to match this right here. So here and here has to be the same. This is the X and Y coordinates of where the virtual key is at. It's hidden. You can say show if you wanted to. I can say show virtual key, and you can see where it's going to be positioned at. And then the 90 and 90, that's how small I want the button to be. And it's a V key up press event. So it's using the mouse keyboard, but you can also, this will also work for the Android device too. So that's why I'm saying you can do this for the PC or your Android. Just gotta hide the button by turning this off. Uncheck that button there and it'll hide it, so you can do this for your PC. Your GUI, make sure that is the size of your room. My room size is 1000 by 400. Make sure that is the correct, whatever your room size is, make sure it's here for your width and here for the height. If this is not matching your room size, then your virtual keys are always going to be off when you pause your game or you go to the next room. So make sure that your room size is the same as your GUI here. That way your buttons will always be in the right spot, your virtual keys anyways. If the virtual key is not in the right spot, you press the button, it's not going to do anything because the virtual key is off. Alright, and then your draw event is going to be the actual button itself, 95 by 330. And then you have a step event. This is needed so because the camera view is following the character, this has to follow with the character. 95 by 330, that's the same as the draw event. It draws it on the screen, keeps it in place, but you need a step event in there so you can actually physically operate it and make it move along with the character. You may not need the step event, because you're using a virtual key. If it was a mouse press event, you would need the step event. Otherwise, it won't work because you're using a GUI and the draw event. And then to create for the virtual key, so it should work without the step. But I just put the step in there just in case. But like I said, if you're doing a mouse click event, you would need the step and the draw in there because you won't have a virtual key for it or a GUI. Minus 500 for the depth. Let me show you what the virtual key looks like. You can see right there that's the virtual key. It's going to be white. Can't change the color, and it's right on top of the button. So you move, the virtual key moves along with the button. And like I said, if the GUI is not right, if it's not the same width and height as the room, then this button's going to be off when you press the pause button or you move to the next room. So make sure it's the right size. Alright. Then I'm going to hide it. Alright, and then the button that closes it, like I said, it's a mouse click event, add event, left pressed, code. All this is going to be deactivated, so it's deactivating your global, your draw, your background, and your selectors. The box outline is deactivating all that, and it's deactivating your sprint images. Your sprint images are the selected items, and your selector is these outline boxes that selects your item. And like I said, you need the step event and the draw event for it to follow the character and not jump. If you just have the draw event in there, it goes along with the character, but then you're not able to operate the button, so you need the step event in there for it to be able to operate the button. Step event 530 by 400. That matches the draw event. 530 by 400. Depth minus 500. And then like here, I added the shield in here. So this is the pickup item, the shield. Center. Then you actually have the shield out is actually in the room because I want it. It's really actually on the character itself, but see, it's in the room up here. So I talked about this before. I have the create event, and then I have the target, my speed, length, place, all that's 0 because you don't want it moving. But you have it on the player because the players stop right when you first start the game, so you want to make sure it's targeted on that. Then you have a step event, and this is going to make it go along with the character when he moves. And so it's not visible because you haven't collected it yet. But you have to have, it's a placeholder pretty much. So when you collect it, then and you press the button, then it'll switch the placeholder to the actual shield. And this is the actual shield. Animates in there. And so I have a variable in there, image underscore speed 0.3, variable control tab that slows down the animation. Then you have the same information in the create event or in the action event here. It's going to follow the character. My speed, length, and place is 0. Step event, same information as the placeholder. It's going to follow the character once you press the enter button. Then I have a alarm set on. See, this right here is probably not required. I don't need that in there, because he's not actually throwing it out. It's going to actually be on the character and stuck on the character. It's not actually, it's a weapon, but it's not going to be thrown, so I don't need a direction in there. Have an alarm in there. Set it for 90 seconds, and then after 90 seconds it's going to be destroyed, because I don't want it on the character the whole time. Depth -10. Let me see what happens when I took that direction thing off. It should work. Yeah, it works. You don't need it. The direction in there was only for if you're going to throw the item out, how far it's going to go for the most part, and where it's going to be located when you throw it. The backing here for the inventory, depth 10. It's going to be pushed in the background. Have a step event in here. It's going to place it in a certain location on screen. X and Y coordinates. The draw event, same thing, 20 by 5 for X and Y. And when you, like I said, when you press the red button to deactivate the inventory, it's going to deactivate the backing as well. And like I said, the other buttons, the left and right, and the fire button all have the virtual keys on them. They're at different positions. Fire key matches the fire key there. Now these coordinates, X and Y coordinates, are going to be different from your actual image of your button. The button is going to be set to 440 by 400. That's not going to match your virtual key. The virtual key is going to be different coordinates. I don't know why it wouldn't match, but you have to make sure you say it show. You want to change this to show, and then you want to mess with the X and Y coordinates to get it lined up to the button. Because like I said, the button step and draw event is going to be different. These numbers are going to be different than the virtual key. I don't know why you think they would be the same, but they're not going to match. So the alignment's going to be off. You're going to have to change the alignment on the virtual key to get it lined up on the button. Make sure you say show to see where the button's going to be at. And like I said, the 90-90 is how big you want the button to be. The width and height is going to be stretched. And then I have this set to V key enter. You want to make sure all your virtual keys have different keyboard buttons on them. This is called V key enter. My left and right is going to be called V key right, V key left. And then, like I said, you have the GUI. The GUI is going to be the same. Make sure it's set to 1000 by 400, whatever your width and height of your room is going to be anyways. Make sure it matches. Alright, and like I said, I can go over this too much because I've already talked about this in my other video, but I'm trying to show real quick the new one I added in there, which was a shield. So in the draw event, I added this line at the bottom here. It says shield. See auto. I see ammo shield here. Ammo S_shield box here. This is the sprint image that's going to be in your item box. So right here is your sprint image item box. And then, like I said, I changed the coordinates on all these. Set that to 50 for the X and Y. See, X is going to be 50 for your text, and your sprint's going to be at 50. So I rearranged all these to be more pushed to the left, because before it was pushed to the right. And then your bomb box is going to be at 150 by 150 for the text. Then your dynamite's 250 by 250 for text. And then now your new image is going to be at 350 for sprint image, and the text is 350, and I kept the Y the same. I didn't mess with those coordinates, just the X coordinates. And then the global, I added another line, which was the global dot ammo shield equals 0. So that's new right there, added. And like I said, these pickup items, when the character moves left or moves right, he's going to pick up the item, collide with the shield. It's going to destroy other, because I might have another shield there. And then it's going to add this line here, global ammo shield equals global dot ammo shield plus 1. So that means I'm going to collect 1. I could change this to 5, so if I collect it, I could have 5 shields instead of 1 shield. So, but I made it 1. I know with, I think the arrow, I made it 5. So when I collect the arrow, I get 5 arrows instead of 1. So I changed that to 5. And then like the bomb, it's going to be 1, and I think dynamite's going to be 2. Yep. So I collect 2 of the dynamite. When I pick up that 1 image, I collect 2. And pick up that 1 image of the arrow, I pick up 5. And then the bomb and the shield's 1. Press enter. Just gonna throw it out, of course. And then in the throw, I added this line right here, which I had to change the selected to 3, not 2. So arrow is 0, ammo is 1 selected, dynamite's 2 selected, and then ammo shield is 3, because you have, it's going to be different for each one. So, and this line's different because you start out with no the placeholder shield, which you can't see, and you have to use this and instance create. So you're pretty much switching the shield out, which is a placeholder for, and then it's going to switch the placeholder shield to the actual shield when you press the enter button. That's what's happening here. And then it's just subtracting that 1 that you had up there at the top to 0. That's what's happening. So that's set up for the throw right, and it's also set up for the throw left. So you're pretty much switching the placeholder of the shield, which is not visible on screen, to the one that's visible on screen. And you need a placeholder in there so it knows exactly where it's going to be positioned at when you hit the enter button and use it. Because you don't have that placeholder in there, it doesn't know where it's going to be located at on the character. So you got to tell it where to go. Like I said, these selected have to be different too. That way it knows what you're selecting, what you're using. And I think that's pretty much it. And then you have to select a 4, which is that is your shield. So, and then you have to change also here to 4. All your selectors have to be changed to 4 because you have 4 items, not 3. I had in my other video, I had this was set to 3. Make sure you change it to 4 because you have 4 items now. So each selector has to have that same information. It's got to say 4, not 3. This and this stays the same. And then when you press the arrow button, when you press an up button, it's going to go from selector 1 to 2. Then your selector 2 is going to go from 2 to 3. And then selector 3 is going to go from 3 to 4. And then from 4 it's going to go back to 1. It's going to rotate back to 1. Alright, I think I showed you everything. So like I said, you can add more items. You gotta make sure you change all the code and reposition everything so you get everything lined up. So this is like maybe 3 rows maybe, or you can actually make this image bigger if you wanted to. This image, make this wider, and add more images to it. more rows, but that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.